So my name is Mark T from Swinburne University of Technology, Sarawak campus. I'm a senior lecturer and also the head of department for computer science program, software development and IoT majors. I have a history of contributing to humanitarian aid for quite a long time in the past. I have some affiliations with the Malaysian Red Crescent Society, and I have a lifelong dedication towards developing technologies that can help people around our society and beyond. So it's part of the reason why it comes in line with what Swinburne University also believes in that technology is meant to be shared for all, not just for academia. Our team, together, we have developed, or we're working on a project called the IoT-based Early Warning Detection System for Flood, in response with the recent occurrences for these natural disasters that is plaguing Sabah and Sarawak. The aim of the project is for us to come up with a low-cost, easily replicatable IoT node that can be installed very rapidly by as little number of people as possible and is able to detect floods the moment it occurs at the riverbank before it reaches society. And it does this even though there is no connectivity to telco towers. So we do this through a very low latency radio communications technique that goes from one node to another in a mesh so that it can finally notify people at a village nearby with internet access.
Hi, I'm Akib. I'm the team leader for our group project. Initially, we chose this topic because I'm very fond of doing IoT-based projects, and because me and Dr. Mark, we have done some IoT activities outside of as club activities, and I've grown to love them. So when I saw this project being shown in the list of projects, I knew I wanted to try it out at least. And as I learned more about the project, I realized that this project will be used to help other people. Well, first it will be in Sabah, but I can see it being used in our entire country. I talked with our lecturer, Dr. Mark, on what sensors and what modules to use for our project. For example, what radio communication. So I did some research on what we need to use, what we can use, and what is the best to use. As well as I also communicate with Malaysian Communication Department to make sure our modules that we use are legal to be deployed commercially. And so far they say yes, we can go ahead with our project with whatever module used.
Hi, my name is Alwin. I'm a hardware engineer at Full Stacks and a cloud engineer. I designed and developed the IoT early warning and flood monitoring systems while working closely with Dr. Mark. And I also designed and developed the web applications and mobile applications with my teammates. At the same time, I also handle the cloud deployments and make sure it runs smoothly in productions.
So hello, my name is Darwish. So my role is software development. So I was in charge of initial UI drafting, UI design, web implementation, and the mobile app application. So the goal of both the mobile and web app is to take the raw data from the nodes and to present them in a more informative and meaningful way to our users. So our user isn't just the admins or the maintainers, but it's also the people who may be affected by the floods. So we're hoping to create apps that are easier to understand for the general public in order to save them from the flooding.
Hi, my name is Shantan Tan Josen, and in this project, my role is mostly focused on cybersecurity as well as the system protections. So I designed the communication architecture to ensure that external users cannot directly access the IoT nodes. All devices connections are also rerouted securely through the backend server. Then I also, on that, I also implemented secure transmission using the digital certificates and encrypted connections to protect data integrity and to prevent unauthorized access. My responsibility was to ensure the overall system is secured from the device layer up to the web application.
My name is Brian Christopher Johan, and I am the stenographer as well as the general committee of the group. I make sure all the meetings have been recorded, all ideas have been written down in stone, as well as coordinate different types of meetings for the sake of the project. I am also the resident AI engineer, designing the rainfall prediction to go in tandem with the flood monitoring system. This is to ensure that we are able to predict whether or not a flood will come within a certain period of time in a certain place, so that evacuations can happen earlier, as well as save many lives, whether it is in the meaning of rescuers or civilians. This is done by collecting data from Copernicus to pre-process it into a single data set containing the map of Malaysia, as well as its river flow, precipitation, as well as the wind speed. Together, I am going to turn it into a single model, so to create a working flood prediction model for the in tandem with the IoT flood monitoring system.
Hello, I'm Sharon Yong. I'm the founder of Pop-Up Advertising and Information Enterprise. This project was initiated in response to the increasing flood situation affected high-risk communities across Sabah, especially in the rural areas where early warning systems are still very limited. As a serving officer in the communications department of the Malaysian Red Crescent Sabah chapters, I've witnessed firsthand the challenge these communities facing during floods, particularly the lack of timely information and preparedness. Driven by the needs to find a practical and sustainable solution, I reached out to Dr. Mark, a technology expert and senior lecturer at Swinburne University of Technology in Sarawak. Through our conversation, he introduced the idea of developing IoT-based flood detection early warning system. The goal of this project was focusing on developing it with a low-cost approach, ensuring that the solution remained accessible and scalable for rural communities. The project has also been structured as ongoing initiative with the IoT departments, where it will span across multiple semesters. This allows continuously monitoring, consistently upgrades, and also progress improvement to the system under the guidance of Dr. Mark. I believe this project brings together technology, education, and humanitarian effort. This not only allows us to develop real-world solutions for vulnerable communities, but also gives students the opportunities to contribute to a meaningful, impact-driven projects.